We get better and better every week.
By the end of this, you'll be able to just bust it out.
Yeah. Sure. We've been saying this.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is I got admitted to Hogwarts.
You got admitted to Hogwarts?
I did.
You got a whole beard, dude.
I know.
Well,
they really should vet their students.
I happen to have brought my letter with me.
I did not do that.
That's okay. It was probably burned.
Probably.
Yeah. I'll read it for you.
They sent a howler for my letter.
You are welcome to Hogwarts. Dear me, we are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Students shall be required to report to the Chamber of Reception upon arrival, the dates for which shall be duly advised, and yada, yada, yada. Professor McGonagall, Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Headmaster Albus Dumbledore, D. Wiz XJ, Sorcerer, S. of Mag Q. It's even notarized.
Huzzah!
Because, expedited international shipping.
Well, I found this nifty map of Diagon Alley.
What?
And it even has some charms on there.
Wow.
Let's see. What do we got here? Ooh, I've got a good one. Silencio. Reparo. That's all I got, man.
Well, I have one. Well, we're showing off maps. I don't think that does anything to yours.
No. Yours is much better than mine. Compensating for something?
No comment.
What do you got there?
It's a map.
We'll show it off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Big map.
Oh.
The school I've just been admitted to. I can see people walking around.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But, only
Great for us first years.
Only I can use it.
Give it a second go.
It's like a Mary Poppins box.
First try.
All right. Now that the trivial part's out of the way, what are we doing?
Oh, well, it's week 2. I was going to say part 2. I guess that works. It's week 2 of Magic Mike. Magic Month.
Tristan has graciously volunteered to show why that is what we're doing today. Take it away. Oh.
I actually don't know. I've never seen that movie. I'm just assuming. No, it's week 2 of Magic Month. Like we said last week, we're basically just kind of covering the Harry Potter movies, but only like the core Harry Potter movies, not like the Fantastic Beast movies.
Yeah, we're not doing Wizarding World adjacent.
Obviously not the, I was going to call it Harry Potter and the Redheaded Stepchild. What is it called?
Cursed Child?
Cursed Child. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind.
What?
It's been a long day. I sat in a train, traversed Scotland.
Beautiful countryside.
The Dementors were on the train.
Why?
I don't know. They just were.
Oh.
Spent the last full week I had before I had to come to school watching Quidditch World Cup.
Really?
Fawning over Victor Crumb, my hero. But like we said last week, we'll be covering movies 4, 5, and 6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Witches. That's exactly what we're talking about.
No, these are my favorite movies. Last week we got Trevor's, which was Prisoner of Azkaban, correct?
Correct.
And now we're covering my favorite movie to start, and that is The Goblet of Fire.
Go about fire. Let's do it the way we've always been doing it.
Take it away.
Things that we like the most about the film Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. For me,
Disclaimer. I will end up talking about the books. I remember one of the observations from the last episode is you said, we will not be talking about the books. And I proceeded to talk about the books every time
I meant that mostly in like comparing.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm not going to give the film flack for not being,
Oh, okay.
for like changing something in the book or being very different than the book. All of them are pretty different from the book.
Yeah. Which is a
So-
given.
Yeah.
Anyways, time back in. Take it away.
The things I like about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
That was pretty good. Were you trying to be anybody in specific? Dobby?
No, just wanted to be a little British boy.
Who's got a mustache?
Very macho British boy.
Oh.
Okay. I truly like. Obviously, it's the same way in the books from number 3 to number 4. It's very like it steps up in its tone. It becomes a lot darker of a film.
Yeah.
Obviously, beginning with the Quidditch World Cup and like a literal terrorist attack.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that didn't happen at all in the last ones.
No. Well, he's really gone full scale here.
Oh, there's a skull with a snake coming out of its mouth in the sky.
I watched all of my friends burn. Well, go Poland.
Well, the like and the way that the filmmakers handled like set pieces,
Mm-hmm.
that they upped the scale of those as well to match it. They had bigger sets, a lot of underwater scenes, really, and a lot of the training that went into that. I think it was like 120,000, really big tank of water
Mm-hmm.
that they used for all of the Black Lake scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the animatronic hedges
Yeah.
for the maze scenes.
Yeah.
I think it's dope that they made those real.
Yeah. Well,
At least the movement of
yeah.
them real.
Well, I mean, not to continually, I say this every freaking time, but obviously it comes as no shock to anyone who's been following this podcast that I am a big fan and would prefer practical effects over complete CGI. And this movie is like one of my biggest prime examples, right? Because a lot of it, like obviously there's some that like the dragon scene and all that stuff is green screen. But a lot of it is practical effect. And the stuff that they show on screen that is CGI versus the stuff that's practical with CGI touch up, you can see a huge difference in how they look on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to like point fault at the CGI department, right? But it just goes to show that that's the direction that we should keep everything, right? And obviously my quarrel with movies now is that they overdo it on the CGI.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's great examples of how it can be done, and The Goblet of Fire is one of them.
Yeah. Especially considering that it is now 20 years old.
Yeah, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. I don't know off the dome who the VFX house was
You want me to
for,
look it up?
but well, you could, but you don't
Yeah,
have to.
Doesn't matter.
But like, I would imagine, given that it was 2005, being able to achieve visual effects like that with like the dragon, with Victor Crumb's shark head, with the mermaids,
Yeah.
I would think it's probably ILM, given like the CG for Revenge of the Sith
Well,
and
and
for this, it's
you
probably
think about also the times. Really, at that,
they
at
were
that's it was just really them.
now.
It's not like today where everybody and their dog has got a CGI house now. Like, sorry, a VFX house.
There's a
Right?
CGI house.
Well, but
I sleep on a mattress.
they were kind of like top dog
Yes,
up until I would probably say like what 2012.
I have no idea. Weta effects came in really strong with the Planet of the Apes reboot.
Yeah,
And like I think that was like 2010, 11.
yeah,
What do I know?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the primary things that I like the most about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire
Mm-hmm.
are the set pieces and like the
Mm-hmm.
the big tonal change in how it handles that. Things that I might not have liked as much. I don't know. There's like a lot of this movie that I can recall, but there's also a whole lot that I might not be able to. Well, so like I don't. I guess some of the acting in the movie can feel like a little shallow.
Mm.
I guess like it does feel kind of flat in some instances.
Yeah.
So, and maybe not necessarily like to fault the actors because there probably was a decent
Yeah.
amount. Like
Well, and you think about it, out of all of those actors, how many have actually gone on to do more roles? Like the kid actors. You've got Emma Watson, Robert Pattinson.
that was his first ever film role. You know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, first
But,
ever thing was Cedric
like,
Diggory.
my point is, like, they were great actors, and I'm sure it probably is due to the fact that we're across the pond. We don't get probably as much exposure to maybe the minor
Rupert
projects.
Grint probably has a decent amount of like TV stuff
Yeah.
in Britain.
Yeah. But there's not a lot of exposure. So when we see that, we're like, this is like super flat. But to them over there, that could be like, oh, well, this is what kickstarted X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
And we just don't know that.
yeah.
So they just kind of are like one and done.
But truthfully, if we were to name like a super specific thing that I did not like about Goblet of Fire, it's the hair.
Yeah.
What's with the mop?
Yeah. I don't know. They were kind of going for like an edgy teen.
Well, yeah, I get that. Like it's like them, like they're older now,
Yeah.
and like clearly hair, like all of their hair gets progressively longer, like from the first one to the fourth. At this point,
I'd like to think that it's because Harry gets neglected. And
he can't get a haircut. But
yeah,
what's that for Ron?
they're poor. I don't know.
Magic haircut.
Yeah, they for sure got that stuff.
Yeah.
If I know Molly.
You must be looking tip top.
Actually, I'm gonna throw a new question in there. Appealing to your childhood self, what would you say from like your inner kid? What was your favorite part? Not like what advanced Trevor likes.
Yeah, I know. Probably the spectacle of it. It felt like it was diving a lot deeper into like the full expanses of the wizarding world.
Yeah.
So like as a kid before, it was just like the most magical thing that they had in previous ones was a giant spider or a 3-headed dog or like baby plants that could scream your head off.
Yeah.
Giant snake. You know, an eagle lion horse combination.
Mm-hmm.
With this one,
Like those which are cool.
yeah.
Right.
This one you've got dragons and mermaids and more, you know,
boats
of the ghosts
that sink into the water.
and like you have unicorns, Pegasus,
Yeah.
you know, a clown car carriage that holds a whole school of French women.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and you got like, yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I think that's think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it felt, it was like, whoa, there's so much more to this.
Not that the last 3 didn't feel magical,
Yeah.
but this one is where for me it started to turn and feel like the wizarding world of Harry Potter and not just Harry Potter. Right. Which, unfortunately, there's not a lot of that in Harry Potter. And that, not to like put it as my chief complaint, but that's kind of like my unspoken beef with just like Harry Potter in general, is that J.K. Rowling did a really good job at like establishing a world for there's a bunch of other wizarding schools across the world, and at some point, like across her stories, they get like certain schools get mentioned. But then there's never ever a dive into it. And that's sad to me, right? Not because like I'm an American and I can't really relate a whole lot with across the pond because I've never been there, but I wish that we could get like some form of like adaptation, if not like a movie, like a book of like people in all these other schools. It's an easy money-making trap that she could have fallen in, but
what's the American one called?
it's
Ilvermorny or whatever?
Ilvermorny or something like that.
The most British-sounding name.
Yeah, but
In
the
America?
houses are cool. Let me look them up. Where's my
What's the American wizarding school called?
Harvard? Yale.
Stanford. Ivy League Quidditch.
Wizard.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine for
Yeah.
a second while we're on the topic of,
Ilvermorny School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
we're on the topic of an American like wizarding world. Can you imagine like the like NQL? How many championships would the Boston Quidditch team have?
The Super Bowl.
Is there like a Madison Square Garden of Quidditch?
Well, that's actually
You
funny.
imagine Quidditch in the Rose Bowl?
It's interesting because it's located on the highest peak of Mount Greylock in Massachusetts.
Harvard.
No. But it's cool. It's
Who's the Tom Brady of Quidditch?
unlike
How's that even-
Hogwarts, Ilvermorny has 4 houses named after magical beasts. Horned serpent, Puckwudgie, Thunderbird, and Wampus.
I'm in Wampa's house. What?
I don't know. I want to know. what
Wampus sounds like a Mario enemy.
It kind of does. I want to be of House Thunderbird. No, they're like Native American. That's what I was trying to show.
Oh.
You can't see that. Maybe we'll put that in post. But they're like Native American, like based, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And also,
'Cause it's-
Thunderbird. Come on.
Probably like, yeah, but we're going way off topic here.
State champions, the Thunderbirds.
There's 4 teams. Bill Russell had 11 rings, only 8 teams in the NBA. Harry, I don't know how many house championships he had.
What are we, Stephen A. Smith?
It's blasphemous. We've pivoted a little far here.
I saw a road and I went down it and didn't look back. No, my favorite thing about this, I guess, same format.
Yeah.
From a maturity standpoint, I would probably have to say, not that I want to piggyback, because obviously I would say that my primary one is what you said. But if I had to come up with something new, I would probably have to say the story. Like
Like the way that it's adapted from the book.
Yes, but also just like this. I don't know. It's hard to like look at this movie that was made for kids and to find something that isn't like what you said, where it was like all of the cool things under one umbrella.
Cinematography. Oh my.
But
goodness.
no, actually, I will be an adult here. The score is beautiful in this movie. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Patrick Doyle.
I genuinely think that one of the best songs to be produced in the Harry Potter series is the Quidditch World Cup song, like theme. That's
Irish.
awesome.
Irish to Bulgaria.
Yeah. And it like totally encapsulates like the joy and the spectacle and the celebration, right? That something like that would probably bring, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just one big giant celebratory event instead of just being like the World Cup is for us. Like, I don't know, we're American. We kind of suck at soccer, so we're not a soccer based country. So when like our World Cup stuff happens, like there's not a celebration that goes on. But in like these countries where like they're really based in like their traditional sports, there is. And I think that this is like that song is a very cool like representation of that event.
Yeah.
Sorry, that got deep. But it's just a song, man.
I don't want to go on any more tangents about Quidditch, but like thinking about how much happens, like that sounds like the worst spectator sport.
That would suck. And also,
because probably almost everyone's just paying attention to the seeker the whole time.
The stadium? Come on. Ooh. You're at the very top row and they're all dangling down there. You're like,
yeah. They don't really showcase.
Cost me 2 buckles.
They don't showcase the magic binoculars that they had like in the books. But I remember there's like a surprising amount of detail as to how zoomed in you really go with those.
Yeah.
Those would definitely help.
Yeah. No, the stadium is not practical. In fact, the one at Hogwarts is far more practical for Quidditch than the Quidditch World Cup one because the stands are right in the playing area. These ones are like, it's like the most domey undome ever.
Did Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire predict drone shows?
That's a great point.
With the leprechaun?
That's a great point.
I know they're technically like fireworks in the movie,
but
like we can do that now. We even attach fireworks to the drones.
We have fireworks shows on drone shows.
Why hasn't anyone recreated this? Why don't we have a leprechaun dancing as a drone show?
There's something that I had to say that is like my least favorite about this movie. It would probably also be like the acting. Some of it's really, really poor. And I mean, I don't know if where's Victor Crumb from?
It's Bulgaria, I'm
Bulgaria.
pretty sure.
Yeah. I think you're right. I don't know if he's actually from Bulgaria, but if he isn't, he's pretty poor at conveying that
He's Eastern European.
Yeah.
Get Nikola Jokic in there.
They must just be really angry people.
Shout out to anyone from Bulgaria. We love you. Please don't be mad at him.
But this is kind of where I start to think that Daniel Radcliffe at the time had the acting ability of a potato. Because there's some scenes where he does really, really well. And there's other scenes where you're like, come on, man, cry.
My eyes aren't glistening with the ghosts of my past.
Like, cry. Get some tears out. Get away from him! Harry, there's not a single tear coming out of your eye. You're just helicopter parenting this dead body.
Do you see the dad here?
My boy!
Like
That's my son!
That's anguish. You're laying on the man.
Get away from him. And he like looks up and he's still,
Don't touch him.
he's got like that smile because he knows like deep down that was a really cheesy way he acted. So he's like, get away from him. Yeah, he's an ugly crier.
Yeah, he still hasn't learned how to just smell onions in his brain.
But that's probably what I would say is my least favorite thing.
What about? Sorry.
Oh,
What were you saying?
well, I was just gonna say, like, my favorite thing from a kid perspective was probably like we talked about it before, was like the little dragons in the hand. But if I had to also put it out there, was probably the Goblet of Fire scene. Just like the whole interaction with it all, like when they're putting their names in it and it turns blue. Oh, young Tristan was a sucker for blue flame. I was like, they can do that.
Whoa! Whoa! Spits it out. And
That whole thing was cool to me. That I don't know why that putting paper names in a like fiery bucket and them spitting the names out was the most magical that the movie was for me. But like, I remember watching that and being like,
okay, while we're still on the topic of that, I just remembered.
did
that
this just
even-
become a Goblet of Fire episode?
No. We'll move on in a little bit. But like, I remember when Dumbledore grabs Harry's name, the way Michael Gambon says Harry Potter still gets me.
Harry Potter.
Go back and watch Goblet of Fire or just look up that scene. That is how he says it.
Harry Potter. Sounds like a Southern man.
Yeah. Harry Potter!
I think it's cool how he grabs him too. He's like, and he's
Harry
like,
Potter.
he like does a little bit of this because they're hot. He's just a boy.
You good to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Order of the Phoenix. You can begin this one.
Oh,
What you like the most?
honestly, this one is probably my least favorite one of all of them.
The movies.
Yeah. And the book.
That shocks me.
The book was okay. The book was good, but this book for me is sandwiched between, from a book standpoint, this book is sandwiched between my two favorite books, The Half-Blood Prince and the Goblet of Fire. I changed my mind. My least favorite movie is The Half-Blood Prince. That movie's terrible, but I'll get onto that. I not to say the same thing, but just like the cinematography of this, I really enjoy like that you can like watch the slow deterioration of like happiness in these movies as it gets to like they get gloomier and gloomier.
Yeah, as Harry realizes his destiny, I guess.
Yeah,
more
and like
more.
where his path is like on track towards, like they get darker, and like also the movies themselves, like the color palettes start to become like gloomier and gloomier.
There's a lot more grays and blues.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like that weird off green color.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Things I didn't like. I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole lot that I can like pick out in this one that I'm like I just didn't really enjoy this one much because I didn't really enjoy the book much. Right? Like it's not my favorite. So this one always gets lost in translation for me because it's just kind of in between.
Yeah.
Comes right after my favorite movie and then right before my favorite book. So I kind of am usually like, oh yeah, well, it's the filler, right?
Yeah. My turn.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
What I really like about Order of the Phoenix, I have like two things, I guess. I really enjoy the Ministry of Magic scenes. The like the third act of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
I think is really well done, especially with like the first like real like Voldemort at his power
Yeah,
that we see. Because like at the end of Goblet of Fire, it's just like, oh, he's here, he's intimidating.
he's back.
But like with this one, you know, the fight between Dumbledore and Voldemort is
Yeah,
super
That's
dope.
so cool when he's
Yeah.
like,
that's an impressive feat of
it turns
CGI.
everything into it's like sand, right? It's
Mhm.
all the shards of glass. That yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
is
really cool. I really do like the way that they chose to depict the Ministry of Magic. Like I know it's described as like a lot of like dark and black
Mm-hmm.
in the books, but like with this one, it really feels like super glossy,
Yeah,
right? Like
Yeah.
it feels like it is made of obsidian,
yeah,
and that's super cool.
yeah. They portrayed. I'm starting to realize now, as we start speaking of it more, that there's actually a lot more that I enjoyed
Yeah.
adapted from the book. But like the whole Ministry of Magic, that is pretty cool.
Yeah. And the other thing that
Like the flu powders, like green flames, those are cool.
sucker for colored flames.
I am a sucker for colored flames, even now. Chemistry class was a blast. No.
Literally. Another thing that I need to give a lot of props to Imelda Staunton for portraying the most hated woman in fiction. I think that there is
Hands
still
down.
like of an entire generation and a half of individuals who can't stand the sight of her because of how well
She
she played
portrayed
Dolores
Umbridge.
Umbridge.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well, and then I
You-
mean, you know, you're a hated character when they put the trial of Dolores Umbridge as like the theme for the new Harry Potter Universal Park for the Ministry, and everyone's like, "Yes, kill her,
Kill!
Yeah, she legit might
don't
be
know.
the best character actor
Oh,
in the series.
yeah, and don't get me wrong, I hate her character.
Yeah.
I am one of those people.
Dolores sucks.
She sucks in the books, but her in film, oh my gosh.
She plays the part to perfection.
She does.
Honestly, she elevates the book character.
Between
really
her
well.
and the guy who plays Lucius, those are I think those are the two best actors.
Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, those are the two best ones in all of Harry Potter. They fit their roles perfectly.
Yeah. Props to the casting directors on those ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
All of them else, like we talked about this, if I may. We talked about
You
this a
may.
little bit when we brought up the TV show. Not to get back on this tangent. That was one thing that I wasn't concerned about, but I was really I'm going to have a hard time with is that these characters that we grew up watching in these movies, like that's them, right? Like Michael Gambon to me will always be Dumbledore, and Alan Rickman, right? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
He will always be Snape.
Yeah.
Always be Snape. He's just perfect for it.
And Hans Gruber.
Yes. But like Hagrid is Hagrid and McGonagall is McGonagall. Harry is Harry, right? So it's going to be really tough for me to like
Gain that attachment
yeah,
to someone else.
figure out this new character's identity of the same character, right?
Yeah.
Like how we said last time, it's going to be fun to kind of like compare a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested to see how, like, it's going to be really interesting to see how they portray Umbridge because I don't know if
play Umbridge.
I don't know if you do any better.
You
They might
probably
just
can.
bring her back.
They very well could.
They absolutely
should.
They absolutely
That's
should.
definitely like I don't know how well the production cycle of this show is going to end up being, but I would imagine it's at least like 7 years out before they're at Order of the Phoenix. So, Imelda Staunton, stay alive until at least when they start production on.
Well, because they're bringing, what's his name? Flitwick. What's his name in real life? Warwick
Davis.
They're bringing him back to play Flitwick. Right?
Yes, they should.
Right. So they could do it.
Yeah, I don't think they probably don't have
I
much
also
issue
think that
in-
they should have brought Tom Felton back and have him play his dad.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, I mean, Lucius isn't in the first one at all, so he still could be.
Yeah. Anyways, I cut into your time.
You did.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what the anyway.
Silencio.
Things we didn't like. I guess this kind of goes I don't really feel this way now, but I definitely felt this way as a kid with this movie. But I did not like Luna as a kid. She annoyed the crap out of me. And like she's a lot more redeemable in the books. So that's like I guess it goes against the writing of Order of the Phoenix more.
Mhm. Yeah.
But like Luna's like I guess her mystical nature and like she was like, you know, a wizarding hippie.
Yeah.
It felt it didn't I don't know. It just
She seems too weird.
I couldn't
in the movies.
I couldn't connect as a child. Today obviously it's fine.
Yeah.
I understand her character a lot better than I did when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
But like because there's nothing else like that until Order of the Phoenix, you're like,
Yeah, it comes out of left field a little bit.
your big glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the Room of Requirement. Not necessarily from like a looks because it's just a brick room.
But
but
it's
like
a neat it's a, like
An
the
adult
concept is
an
cool.
adult Tristan, this is something where like a young Tristan did not have appreciation for it. But adult Tristan, that's cool. That's a really cool concept.
Yeah. Whatever you need.
It
It'll-
just shows
it will
up.
be.
Yeah. And it's been really cool to see the Room of Requirements like adaptations through everything, right? Like have you got a chance have you ever played Hogwarts Legacy?
Mm-mm.
That's a great game. You should play that game.
Okay.
No, like in Hogwarts Legacy, it takes the shape of like because your character shows up as a 5th year because he's old enough to be a 5th year, but it's his first year, right? He's like a random admittance. So you have to do like all of your studies for the last like 2 or 3 years, like 4 years. So it shows up as this big giant like personal classroom that you can like customize and stuff where you can practice
That's pretty
spells.
neat.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right. So kind of like just that whole concept. Really, I kind of gained a big respect for it after playing Hogwarts Legacy. And I was like, this is kind of cool.
I guess in addition to that, that continues my applause of like the set pieces and the practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, you know, I was the kid that grew up watching every bonus feature possible on the discs that I had. And I learned a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So maybe that it's what shaped me into who I am today. But like I still remember in my mind the set directors talking about how they put like pistons behind the mirrors in the Room of Requirement. So when Umbridge breaks into it, they activate the pistons and it shatters all of the windows. And then they have the smoke effects and the other explosion to blow a hole in the wall. And boom, there she is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Not a CG mirror. They literally just pushed it out from the back and it shattered.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was neat.
Anything else?
On Order of the Phoenix, only that I had like opposite feelings to you about the books. To me, Order of the Phoenix was my favorite book growing up, and Half-Blood Prince was my least favorite.
Really?
So that makes a great segue into Half-Blood Prince, where I can also say that the movie is one of the better ones to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
from, the advanced Trevor standpoint, as you put it.
Okay, then yes, I would agree with you.
When I was little, I felt about it the same way I did the book. I was like, Voldemort doesn't even show up in this one.
Yeah.
And he's been back for years.
Yeah. No, this is your time.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
I think what I like about the movie the most is just like it does feel very separate from all of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very like, you're
It
a
can
lot
stand
more
on its own.
like all of a sudden you've kind of separated from Harry learning about who he is as a wizard and who he is in the grand scheme of the story to Harry's social life.
Yeah.
Like what he's like at Hogwarts and what the people there are like with like Slughorn and all of this, but it becomes like more of like a mystery and sleuthing with Dumbledore and him trying to get the memories out of Slughorn
Yeah.
to learn you get your
Learn more
backstory
about
of Tom Riddle.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also with this one, it's kind of cool. You talk about how like Harry is like what his day-to-day life looks like. It's kind of like how Harry also is trying to adapt with like this new sense of like this first like official sense of like fame, right?
Yeah.
Voldemort's back. We know he's going to destroy the world. And the only person that can stand up to him just so happens to be that guy.
Yeah.
Right? And
So-
it's like him dealing with like the unbearable weight of success where he's like, well, I know what I have to do, but I'm also like 16.
I'm kind of the guy. So he's like confident enough to cheat, right?
Yeah.
With potions class.
Yeah.
And he's like super confident because he's the Quidditch captain and he's the best seeker in the school.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah. And like he's Slughorn's favorite, the new professor. And it's kind of interesting to see like that side of it.
Yeah.
And how it kind of like it goes to his head a little bit, right?
Yeah. You get this like honestly, I don't even know if J.K. Rowling intended it to be this way, but because, we learned that Harry is a Horcrux and he is directly connected to Voldemort, you kind of in this book you get the deep the words escaping me, but you learn a lot about the individuals of Harry Potter and Tom Riddle in this
Mm-hmm.
in Half-Blood Prince. There's a lot that you learn about both of them, and there are definite like connections between the two.
Yeah, I
of
was
them.
gonna say you learn that they're a little similar. They're not
Yeah.
identical, but
Yeah.
they're similar.
And so like that's something that honestly it's not like in your face. It is something that you have to be thinking about like we are now.
Mm-hmm. You have to take an outside perspective
Yeah.
to it,
Which
yeah.
I think is something that is almost kind of detrimental. Like I feel like if it was a little bit more on the
if you're
nose,
not looking for it, you will miss it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is probably part of the reason why I didn't like it as a kid.
Yeah.
It just felt so different from all the other
Well,
ones.
and it's right around like the Chamber of Secrets in this one where the books are now no longer like at like a child's comprehension, and you have to
Mhm.
start because like the books I'm not naive to the fact that the books came out with the prime audience as they grew up. So they grew up with Harry.
Yeah.
So by the time that these adult themes start coming in, these adults are like, wow, yeah, I get it, right? Like, I can see this. I can see why it's like this and how they're alike and yada, yada, yada. But for us, where we came into the show later, right, we're reading these books when they come out as kids, right? We're not even in middle school. And you're
they're all
trying to
all
understand
out.
like these newly like adult themes. You're like, this is a little hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
I loved this one because of the very reason why you didn't like it, and that's because it's like the first official where you're like, finally, we don't have to worry about like unbearable weight. Harry doesn't have to worry about saving the world or doing anything fantastic. Like you just kind of get a grounded story where you're like, yeah, he's a teenager and he hates school and he finds a book that helps him cheat and he's great. And you're like, makes sense. But I also really enjoy like, because it's this is the one where like him and Dumbledore go on all of their like adventures with each other.
Yeah.
I really enjoy those.
Yeah, those are definitely
But
fun.
this is where I have to like
Scary.
put my disclaimer in that, not disclaimer, but I think that this movie is terrible when it comes to an adaptation of the book. The only thing that it adapts is the name and title only. Like there's so many things like Ginny Weasley and her whole story arc in this book and how she joins the Quidditch team and blah, 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 all gone. Like the little things that happen with Dumbledore and Harry not there. In the movies, it just makes it seem like Harry's like an angsty teen who likes to cheat with the book. In the books, he's like he has like a much different relationship with his textbook, and it's not like he's like, well, I'm the best and I have the book and the answers. He's like, I want to know who the Half-Blood Prince is. The only reason why I'm keeping this book around is because whoever this is knows everything. Right? Who is it? Like, there's a lot more investigation to it. And that is just, I feel like, absent from the movies. And then they get to, like, it feels like the movies wanted to focus more on, like, Dumbledore and Harry's stuff and then Dumbledore's eventual death. And it missed all of the stuff that really, like, in the books, really builds that up. So when you get to those parts in the books, and then eventually when Dumbledore dies, you're like, it's a lot more crushing than it is in the movie for me. Anyways, and there's a lot of stuff in the books where they just, because the movies don't adapt well from books across the board, you miss a lot of stuff, like tiny details, like observations and stuff.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we don't have this in the budget. It's not that important to the story that it's not like if we leave it out, it's not going to halt our story. So we can just omit it from the movie itself. But there's a couple of stuff. I'm not going to talk about them all because we're short on time. But that's kind of like my issue is that this movie, and it's very short. I think it's the shortest one.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I think
but
it's like
probably
barely
is
two.
one
I
of
think
the
it's like
shorter
barely
ones.
2 hours. Like an hour 58 or something.
Yeah.
It's a short movie. So I just think that they rushed through this one because they knew what was coming next. And they're like, okay, get this one out so we can start on the Deathly Hallows. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like my favorite. This was my favorite book because it sets up everything really well for the Deathly Hallows. Anyways.
I think this episode has been very telling about what we were like when we were kids.
Yeah. How so?
Well, just because of how we've been talking about what the movies were like for us when we were little, and also how the books were when we were little.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, yeah, I feel like the average like non-listener, if they were to pick up on this one first, they'd be like, "Wow, I would not have been friends with them, or I would have not been friends with that one when I was a kid."
No, unfortunately, my eternal curse is that I always go too deep into everything. Like any information I take in, I absorb it, and I'm like, this is my identity. I own 3 Star Wars helmets, a wand, and the Triwizard Cup. I mean, like the most normal dude ever.
I had a lightsaber, but it don't work anymore. Womp,
Anyways.
womp.
I get really technical. I'm not naive to that. I get really technical about stuff.
I think it adds a really good element to this podcast.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that's just kind of like the dialogue we have about these. This is not stuff that you hear about Harry Potter movies. Anytime anyone talks about Harry Potter, they just glaze the crap out of it. Like it's the greatest thing that happened since sliced bread. And I love Harry Potter, but also I can point out some serious faults and flaws with the movies where you're like, they're great, but
we're Harry Potter realists here. All right.
I'm not going to say it's
if
better
we're being
than
real, this
Interstellar.
movie could not have happened in real life. Magic doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? We have floating candles. Ooh. Wow, it floats. Real magicians here.
Well, anything else? Final thoughts?
Not enough. No. Next week, still Magic Month. Maybe not in the way you think.
It's going to be exciting.
If you want a sneak peek, Tristan and I literally will have no idea how it's going to go.
Yeah.
See you all next week for Magic Month Week 3.
Oh, I was going to do the... Go ahead. I was just going to acapella this.
Oh.
Wingardium Leviosa.